laws that frustrate and suppress the growth and operations of SMMEs and the informal sector. It will also nullify the tendency for the law enforcement agencies to harass small businesses in our communities, including in the CBDs, especially those that support to be able to observe the law. So, honorable members, the Township Economic Development Act is in the pipeline. It will help us grow township businesses and make light of wealth and job creation in our economy as part of our efforts to grow Gauteng together. Significant work is being done in our efforts to grow the economy, especially in bringing sectors like the taxi industry into the mainstream of our economy. So we are working very closely with municipalities to rezone and develop taxi ranks into retail and commercial hubs that will create markets for local mechanics, local panel beaters, retailers, food sellers, and manufacturers. Another important goal in our economy is to ensure that we increase exports and trade into our continent. The 10 high-growth sectors I've referred to earlier will be the way in which Gauteng enters the African economy. We have identified in these particular areas goods and services that we must pioneer as Gauteng's unique competitive advantage. Honorable members, we are ready for the African Continental Free Trade Area. Through Gauteng Growth and Development Agency, we intend to increase exports to the continent by 15% by the end of 2025. In 2030, inter-Africa trade should contribute to the creation and maintenance of 150,000 jobs in the Gauteng economy, an increase from the current 50,000 jobs. 50,000 jobs in our economy are a result of inter-Africa trade. We are not doing enough. And in the decade, we want to increase that to 150,000 jobs. We also want to increase exports to major regions in the world by 10% by the end of 2025. A critical success factor in achieving our goals is to ensure the creation of an innovation ecosystem and world-class infrastructure in the Gauteng economy. This we will do by attracting both foreign and direct investment into the special economic zones, the agri-parks and the industrial parks that I've referred to earlier. At the same time, we are working with universities, research institutes and private sector innovation centers to build a more integrated innovation ecosystem that will support the 10 high-growth sectors in the Gauteng economy. Honorable members, the Gauteng government is also supporting researchers in various universities to promote innovation, research and development in various areas of our economy. We do need a state-of-the-art infrastructure network in order to take forward the goals I have referred to. And this infrastructure includes the security of supply of clean water, modern energy, efficient and reliable public transport, connectivity and the logistics in our province. So fellow residents of Gauteng, I want to say as we start this decade that water security is fast becoming an issue of grave concern in our country and in our province. Gauteng faces major water security risks. Our water usage is too high and therefore unsustainable. Let me give you the figures. We in Gauteng use 300 liters per person per day, which is way above both the world average of 173 liters per person per day and the national average of 235 liters per person per day. So we in Gauteng are using water in a way that is not sustainable. We must take urgent decisions and drastic steps to reduce water demand and water losses in our province. In order to do this, we must ensure that there is a security of sufficient supply of water in the Gauteng city region. We will do this by increasing investment in bulk water infrastructure, working with our municipalities in order to diversify the water mix in Gauteng. We will deploy new and smart technologies to capture groundwater, to reuse wastewater for other purposes, to treat acid mine drainage, and ensure rainwater harvesting. This we are already doing, working with national government, particularly the Department of Water and Sanitation. We have established a Gauteng City region-wide war room on water security, composed of national departments and agencies and specialists from water research institutions and our municipalities. The mandate of this water security war room is to implement the Gauteng Water Security Plan. The war room will be chaired by myself and coordinated by the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs under the leadership of MEC Maile. In addition, honorable members, we must tackle the energy crisis. The current load shedding by Eskom is destroying the economy and negatively impacting on our people's lives. Load shedding is really destroying us. And as Gauteng province, I must remind you that as Gauteng province, we have long been advocating for a more active role by municipalities and provincial governments in addressing the problem of energy security. Instead of waiting and whinging, we must all act decisively to safeguard energy security and enable a just energy transition to a low-carbon economy in our lifetime. We in Gauteng have adopted the Energy Security Strategy and established the Energy Office in 2016. The key objective of this energy security strategy is to diversify the energy mix and expand energy generation capacity, particularly in our metropolitan municipalities, all of which have got an important role to play in energy provision. However, our energy security strategy could not be implemented for two reasons. Firstly, there was no enabling national policy framework to support decentralized energy initiatives. In addition, some of our metros did not take their work seriously about putting the politics aside and working together with us to address energy security, particularly in those municipalities where there were energy entities that could be modernized and be transformed so that they can bring more energy into the Gauteng economy. So, honorable members, I want to welcome President Ramaphosa's pronouncement during the State of the Nation address, which will allow municipalities, the private sector, and individual citizens to bring in additional capacity to the grid from renewable energy, hydropower, battery storage, and fuel cell technology. This is what we as Gauteng have always been calling for in the Gauteng Energy Security Strategy. So in April this year, next month, the provincial government, together with SALGA, will make a submission to Minister Gwede Mantashe for a ministerial determination to help us to unlock renewable energy projects in Gauteng through what the window opened by the Integrated Resource Plan, IRP 2019. So what is it specifically we will be doing? we will ensure that we use this opportunity created by the President's announcement and the IRP 2019 to fast-track the development of alternative energy sources in our province and unlock the potential that is lying in the 3 metros which have all either decommissioned energy agencies or they are undertaking new energy initiatives. So we do have shovel-ready solar energy projects in Gauteng. We have mothballed power stations that must be recommissioned. We also want to increase the use of hydrogen fuel cell technology in the new developments and new cities across the province. Madam Speaker, in line with the commitment we made in the last State of the Province address, we are also improving public transport. And I want to report that we have now established the Gauteng Transport Authority. I spoke about the Act in July, that we have passed the Act. Now we have established the Gauteng Transport Authority. The immediate focus of the authority is to give life to all transport plans of various municipalities in Gauteng over this decade. The first priority of this authority is to establish a single ticket so that those who are using buses, taxis, trains, including the Gautrain and any other mode, can do so, move from one part of Gauteng to the other using a single ticket. This is our first priority. Of course, in the end, we want an integrated, reliable, affordable, efficient public transport, and we want smart and green mobility in the Gauteng city region by the end of this decade. In line with the directive I gave in July 2019, MEC Mamabulo and the department have undertaken public transport improvement plans for major nodes in the 5 development corridors in our province. Major intermodal facilities have been visited and assessed. So going forward, we are now going to be focusing on renovating and improving the functionality of these intermodal facilities. Investment in public transport is critical to ensure that we transform the economy of our province, but we also transform the spatial landscape of our province. So, honorable members, our transport approach is informed by our program of transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization. We have noted the release of the report of the Competition Commission recently on public transport. I have recently directed MEC Mamabulo to engage immediately with the Competition Commission on the proposals that they have made, including some of the findings that they have made. And there are interesting proposals that they've also made, which will help us fast track what we want to do with the integration of Metro Rail and the Gautrain in Gauteng province. Honorable members, in the next 5 years, the Gauteng provincial government will rehabilitate and upgrade 18 major arterial roads in all the 5 development corridors in Gauteng, especially in Sidibeng and the West Rand. I would like to make it clear that all the work we are doing on improving our road infrastructure is linked to catalyzing major investments in the new economic nodes in the 5 development corridors across our province. Some of these investments, I'll refer to them shortly. We have also been working with the private sector to ensure that ICT companies collaborate with us and share resources on the rollout of affordable broadband connectivity and free Wi-Fi to poor households across the Gauteng city region. Honorable members, the work of creating the Silicon Valley of Africa at our innovation hub is currently on track. This includes the integration of the innovation hub our network of Eka labs, the Tshimologong Center, universities and research institutions, and integrating this to create a special economic zone based on high-tech and innovation. And this work, honorable members, will be driven by the Premier's Digital Transformation Advisory Panel, which has been established and will be unveiled in March this year. Honorable members, we must work together to take full advantage of the opportunities created by the digital economy and prepare our society for a future in which technology will be central to everything we do. We must prepare our schools and universities, our healthcare system, our law enforcement agencies, our governance system, our businesses and civil society for digital transformation. Not just talking about the fourth industrial revolution, beyond the current wave of the fourth industrial revolution, including to the fifth industrial revolution, which is also soon taking hold. When we are talking about the fourth industrial revolution, others are already talking about the fifth industrial revolution. Honorable members, attracting investment in the Gauteng economy is one of the key priorities of this ANC-led administration. This is one of the major focal point areas of my job as the Premier of Gauteng, this economic hub of our country. Accordingly, FDI Markets says over the past 5 years, the Gauteng city region has attracted 447 foreign direct investment projects into the Gauteng economy, and these projects are worth 264 billion rands. And these projects have created 469,000 jobs between 2014 and 2019. This is the past 5 years. During this decade, we will increase our drive on investment to unlock major corridors and economic nodes across the 5 corridors of our province. We will do so with a far-reaching transformative agenda, with an agenda to transform the spatial form or the spatial morphology of our province, with an agenda to bring in more black businesses in the Gauteng economy, with an agenda to grow the participation of SMMEs in our economy, with an agenda to bring in more township businesses in our economy. In this regard, honorable members, I want to share with you some of the projects that are underway in the 5 development corridors of our province. In the northern corridor, which is where we are in the city of Tshwane, our vision and our goal is to position this city economy as the hub of the automotive industry in our country, not just agriculture, processing, defense and aerospace, and the aviation cluster in Centurion. We are also focusing on the innovation R&D system, which includes our universities, including Sefako Makhura Health Sciences University. Honorable members, the capital city of our province will also be a key area of growth of the township economy, including the revitalization of township industrial hubs. So in support of this vision about the kind of Tshwane we want, current projects, we have projects on the pipeline right now. The current projects are taking place in Tshwane, not just a dream. The current projects include the expansion of the BMW and Nissan plants here in Ekurhuleni, just next door. And Ekurhuleni is going to grow into an auto city quite soon. The Ford investment in Silverton, and we have launched the Automotive Special Economic Zone in November last year. The development of Manlin Main, which we have been working, the city and the province with the investors around that, and many know that the east of Tshwane is changing dramatically, and the development of the Castle Gateway precinct in Centurion. This will also include the industrial parks such as Babelegi, Garankuwa, and Ek Industry. So these projects that are currently underway, honorable members, will bring at least 50 billion rands into the Tshwane economy during this decade. And these projects are underway. They are currently unfolding. In the Eastern Corridor, which is in the city of Ekurhuleni, our goal and our vision is to consolidate Ekurhuleni as Africa's largest aerotropolis and a major hub for advanced manufacturing for the transport and logistics sector in sub-Saharan Africa. The other sectors in Ekurhuleni will include rail and bus manufacturing, defense and aerospace sector, food, beverages, and agro-processing. In support of this vision of turning Ekurhuleni into Africa's largest aerotropolis, there are specific projects underway in Ekurhuleni. And one of those projects is the current work we have done to build OR Tambo IDZ, which is being turned into a special economic zone. We have already started work on the IDZ. There are companies operating there, but we want to turn that IDZ beyond agro-processing into a jewelry manufacturing and mineral beneficiation hub, as well as a place where hydrogen fuel cell technology is going to be pioneered. The development taking place around Tambo Springs, which I have referred to earlier, the Prasa Gibela Rail Manufacturing Hub, which has got outstanding manufacturing of the trains for our continent taking place right now, the OR Tambo International Airport cargo terminal development, which is also underway now, as well as the many projects taking place on the R21 highway. Those of you who have an opportunity to drive from Tshwane to OR Tambo on R21 will see that space is getting transformed every day, part of the development of the aerotropolis. Honorable members, I want you to join me in welcoming the announcement by President Cyril Ramaphosa about the building of Oliver Tambo University of Science and Technology in Ekurhuleni. This university is a great value proposition and a boost to advancing manufacturing capabilities and innovation in the Ekurhuleni aerotropolis. We have been working with the mayor. I see the mayor is sitting there, and he likes tweeting a lot. We have been working with the mayor to lobby for this university over a period. And we are now following up after the announcement made by the president to ensure that this university becomes a reality during the decade between now and 2030. This university must become a reality in our lifetime. It must become a reality. Collectively, all the pipeline of projects in Ekurhuleni currently underway, not the new ones, those currently underway are worth 200 billion rands. The pipeline of projects underway are worth 200 billion rands in Ekurhuleni. Honorable members, in the Southern Corridor, where the regional economy suffered significant deindustrialization due to the collapse of the steel industry, our goal is to build a new in the Vaal, an economy based on a revitalized steel sector, based on logistics, agriculture, agro-processing. And this economy will be anchored around a new special economic zone in the Vaal, which brings together the two sides of the Vaal, across the Vaal River, the side of the Free State and the side of Gauteng. And this is where the Vaal River City will be developed. But it's not just the Vaal River City. The Vaal River City will be anchored by a new special economic zone in the Vaal. Honorable members, we would like in the Vaal also to work with the two universities, that is the University of Technology in the Vaal, the VUT, and the Northwest University. Those universities, those who know the Vaal would know, those universities are close to each other, those campuses. We want to develop an integrated university town and university village there, around those universities, as part of the new Vaal River City. And this integrated university town will have university accommodation for students. It will also have university accommodation for the academics and the workers who are working in that area. This is a great vision for us because the two universities will constitute an innovation ecosystem such as in the new Vaal River City, such as we have in other cities such as Boston. So, honorable members, the current projects pipeline in the Vaal amount to 40 billion rands of investment which will come into the Vaal economy. There were major delays on the development of the Vaal River City. And one of the key delays was about bulk infrastructure funding. And I am glad that we have unlocked this, working with the presidency on another city, which I will come back to later. We have found a model of funding new developments in regions and in corridors such as the West Rand and Sidibeng, where the municipalities do not have bulk infrastructure. So let me now turn to the West Rand corridor. We are making significant progress in diversifying the West Rand economy from an economy that relied on mining in the past to an economy where today it includes bus manufacturing, agribusiness and agro-processing, renewable energy investments and tourism centered around the World Heritage Site. The release of 30,000 hectares of land by Sibanye Gold has helped us to unlock these developments in the West.
Well, it's that kind of day where we're chasing many stories at once, so we're going to